Oh, don't you love it when a plan comes together? Woohoo!
Think I'd try this a new way. I'm gonna show you the tricks that I know. I'm getting tired of talking, and I need more of a show right now. It's time that you made your mind up, 'cause lately all it ever does is change. Feels like we're only talking, going round and around, back around. I will fight like no other every day. I won't stop like the others. I will stay. 'Cause now is the right time, and I'm feeling alright. I'm playing your game like I know I can win right now. You got me up tonight, 'cause loving you is like I'm walking a tightrope so high. I won't be turning around, no, I won't be turning around.
Oh man, that was such a good run. It's about 20 degrees colder this morning than it was 2 days ago, so I just couldn't resist the opportunity to get a bit of exercise. And yesterday afternoon when I got back from game drive, my whole tent was covered in sand, and I don't mean the outside, the inside, on my duvet, my pillow, my clothes, everything. So what had happened was, while I was out there, this massive Kalahari sandstorm came through, and one of my side flaps must have come loose, and the sand just got in. And that's the problem with this Austrail tent, I must be honest. It's great to take the top off if you want to sleep under the stars or get a bit of a breeze through on a hot night. But when it's sandy and something loosens, it's actually not that well covered. So I'm going to use this morning to clean everything that needs to be cleaned, wash everything that needs to be washed, and then just get my camp back into order before I go back out on game drive. But first, time to stretch.
No time to worry about the past. Await the future to come at last. This time tomorrow, I will be gone. A fading memory, forever worn. I wanna wake up without sorrow. I wanna step out in a world that's brighter. We are the people of tomorrow. We stand together, raise our hands up higher, higher, higher. We raise our hands up to the sky, higher, higher.
There we go, folks. Everything is finally clean. I washed the dishes, I washed my clothes, got rid of all of the sand in that tent, even cleaned the inside of the car. So yes, my campsite looks like new, and I think I'm about ready for a shower now. It's about 4:15 in the afternoon, and finally time for another game drive. After cleaning camp this morning and relaxing a little bit in the middle of the day, let's go and see what we can find in the Alb riverbed this afternoon. I'm going to drive as far and as fast as I can, obviously sticking to the speed limit, and then turn around and drive back slowly to hopefully be back at Sameflooiing just before the gates close. So I've driven 37 kilometers up the Alb riverbed all the way to Montrose waterhole, and I've been checking the deep shade both in the camelthorn trees and the Kalkried ridges for spots, because this area between Gemsbok Plain and Kamkwa picnic site is definitely the best area in the whole park for leopards. No luck so far, but I'm going to drive slowly back towards Twee Rivieren. Maybe I get lucky. And I thought tomorrow morning I'll drive up the Nosop riverbed again, but even though I didn't see much now, it's so exciting driving this piece of road, and I just feel like something can happen any minute, so I may very well come back here tomorrow morning. Let's go find that leopard. I'm sitting here at Kamfersboom waterhole and man, it's still very, very hot. There's a beautiful tawny eagle busy drinking. And it's hard to believe that this is the same place that I saw in January 2021 when it was lush and green. At the moment, it's bone dry, as you saw earlier in this video. But that year, it rained a lot just before I arrived, and it rained a lot during my 2-week stay. And this riverbed that's just dust at the moment was tall grass, almost knee height. And we actually saw some leopards one day mating out in the middle of the Arb riverbed, and it looked like the Kruger National Park. One day we saw a mother leopard with 2 cubs, and the grass was so tall that we could only just see their heads above the grass. It was only when they jumped into a camelthorn tree that we could see them properly. At the moment, though, it doesn't look like there's any rain predicted, so I doubt very much that I'm going to see a green Kalahari this year. This was the driest I had seen the Kgalagadi in a very long time, perhaps ever, and the lack of general game in the riverbeds was almost unbelievable. Most of them must have been in the dunes, or perhaps deep into Botswana looking for areas where it had rained a little bit. But rather than dampening my spirits, all the drought did was give me more respect for the animals that live here, and I got the feeling that an epic sighting was just around the corner. My feeling was right. I think I just spotted a leopard here in the Arb riverbed. Oh, it's walking straight towards me. Wow, I don't know if you heard that. It's a big male. He just rasped right here next to me. The rasping, together with how massive it looked, is what made me think it was a male. But in all the excitement, I completely forgot to look for the obvious. Testicles, which this leopard did not have. It was in fact an adult female, Miera, looking in great shape and fooling me with her size. It's amazing because I was just thinking yesterday whether or not the big males rasp here in the Kalahari, because obviously the densities are so low that they're not likely to encounter each other very often. So in the Leopard where I come from, they rasp all the time because there's a big chance that another leopard might hear them. Whereas out here, I thought maybe they rely a little bit more on chemical communication, like urinating. So yeah, very cool. First time I've ever heard a leopard rasp with a Kalahari. There it goes again. It was obvious that Miera was on a territorial patrol, calling vigorously and scent marking continuously as she made her way south along the Arb River towards Kamfersboom. Oh, don't you love it when a plan comes together? Woohoo! That was unbelievable. Searching the whole afternoon yesterday, 4 leopards in this area and then coming back this morning and finding it. Thanks for convincing me on Instagram stories. There's about 1,000 people following along on the stories, which is absolutely amazing. And last night I asked, should I go up the Nosop to look for lions or should I come back to the Arb River to look for leopards? And you guys voted leopards and I found one. Oh, how fantastic is that? That was the most incredible morning. Just before I left Hoedspruit, my wife Tabby asked me whether or not I think I'm going to be lonely on this trip. And I said to her, I don't think so, because whenever I make these videos, and especially when I'm talking to you guys, it feels like you're right here with me. So this morning when we saw that leopard, it felt like each and every one of you was sitting right next to me in the car. Now, speaking about you guys, I want to give a massive shout out to all my patrons. I don't think you realize how big a difference those monthly donations make in my life. It's really what allows me to make videos like this. So if you guys want to see me make more videos about the Kalahari and all these other wild places and film more leopards rasping in riverbeds, please consider becoming a patron of the channel by following the link at the top of the video description. For now, I'm going to head back to Twee Rivieren, and if you think this morning was nice, wait until you see what I've got planned for tomorrow morning. This morning I'm going to a very special place, the Kalahari Trails Meerkat Sanctuary, which is located about half an hour's drive from Twee Rivieren. Now the last time I was here was 11 years ago when Tabby and I came out to interview the late Professor Anne Rosser, who used to own the place, for a Go magazine article. Now not only was she an expert on meerkats, but also on this part of the Kalahari. Now that trip was midwinter, so it was freezing cold, and I remember in the mornings Tabby would sit on the stoep with 2 little meerkats on her lap, also trying to soak up the sun. And I would lie in the sand to photograph the little guys, and they would come and dig in my hair and pull on my lip. So very, very special memories, and it's so exciting to go back. This morning, I'm actually going to go on a meerkat walk. I had been invited to go on a meerkat walk, led by the rescued meerkat's human mother, Mareli van den Berg. On her shoulder sat Paddington, a cheeky little boy who had been taken from its mother as a baby to be sold along the roadside and brought to Kalahari Trails by a concerned tourist. Under her shirt was a much shyer, or rather lazier, Niels, that had most likely been kept as a pet before it was found on a construction site. Mareli identified fresh animal dung dropped the night before and pointed out interesting tracks we definitely would have missed, like that of the dancing white lady, a type of spider that attracts her prey and mates with a hypnotic dance. She also spoke in depth about meerkat behavior that little Paddington was all too willing to show off at the crest of a red Kalahari dune, digging for grubs and scent marking on everything and everyone he could find. The next moment, all hell broke loose as the local wild group of meerkats crashed our party. After making a fuss about Paddington and Niels for a while, they eventually settled down and carried on with business as usual. And luckily for us, since they live around the main house, they've become very accustomed to humans, giving us a rare opportunity to watch their antics from up close.
Paddington and most of the rescued meerkats that end up at Kalahari Trails will eventually be reintroduced into a wild group like this.
My goodness. I wish we had smell-o-vision so that you guys could smell just how badly these meerkats stink, especially that Paddington. Well guys, by now you know that the sponsor for this video series is Gym Green Footwear. And they sent me a pair of awesome shoelies, which is something between a felly and a shoe. So it looks like a felly with the leather and the wide middle for my big frog-like feet, but it's also got a pointy toe and it's got the shape of a shoe. So it looks a little bit smarter than a felly, and it just means that I can also wear it with a pair of jeans when I go out for dinner. But what I love about these shoelies so much is how comfortable they are for walking. So I spend the whole morning with them, walking with these meerkats, and they just give you incredible foot support. And I'm also never worried about thorns with these thick soles. So if you want to get yourself a pair of shoelies, go and check out the link that I've added at the top of the video description.
Kalahari Trails is a great place to spend a night or two before or after your trip to the Kgalagadi, and to experience another more intimate side of the Kalahari Desert that you don't necessarily have a chance to do when you're in the Transfrontier Park itself. After the meerkat walk, new manager Gert van Zyl was kind enough to show me the whole property and to tell me more about some exciting projects that they've got planned at Kalahari Trails over the next year or two. So I suggest you keep an eye on their social media platforms for any interesting developments. I've also left a link to their website in the video description. On the way back to Twee Rivieren, I popped in at Kgalagadi Lodge near the entrance gate to grab a cappuccino and to download some photos and videos. My time at Twee Rivieren had come to an end, and the following day I would head north to Mata Mata. In the next episode, I see my first lions, I befriend more meerkats, and I get wet for the first time on the trip.